Hello, friends and family. This is Jen at the Lifehouse Health Solution, and I am here with my friend Joanna and her sweet puppy. So, Joanna, tell us, what brought you into our office to begin with?
I had really bad knees, the right one especially. I'd injured it a year and a half or 2 years ago. I've been to orthopedic doctors, I did physical therapy, and if I did the slightest thing or stepped down out of my van, and it would be re-injured again. So I was forever going back to physical therapy, and I wasn't getting any results. Dorothy turned me on to Dr. Zach, and that just changed everything.
So you had somebody refer you to our office because of what the change, and Dorothy's had some amazing changes.
She had a fall, and I'd heard that she wouldn't go to the hospital. She wanted to go to her chiropractor, and I thought, wow, this is someone I can relate to. So I went and asked her who she was going to, and she actually brought me for my first visit. And I knew as soon as he laid his hands on me and he started talking, I knew I was in the right place. I knew I'd finally got somewhere where I was actually going to get results and support to make the changes I know I needed to make.
You've been doing the chiropractic for about a month and a half now or so, 4 or 5 weeks. About 4 weeks ago now, we started a Whole30 challenge. So you joined our challenge and you had some pretty crazy results.
The first week after doing the chiropractic, I was off a cane. And by the third week, I was actually back to walking. I do an hour and a half walk every morning. I was back to doing that. So the chiropractic really started all this change. When you did the Whole30, in my mind, I thought, well, I'm doing the physical stuff. Now I need to look inside. And when I looked at that, I thought, this is going to tell me what's making me sick and making my knee swell and what isn't. So I went on the real strict Whole30. And within 3 weeks of being on that, I went from being a diabetic to not being a diabetic. My doctor didn't even believe the results, so she made me do a second blood test before I could leave. And that came up the same. I am no longer a diabetic. And I know it has to do with having my spine and everything aligned so that none of those nerves are being pinched, so those organs aren't getting the supplies that they need. And then the diet was just like the frosting on the cake. It took all of those foods out of my diet that were actually causing the bloated belly and the swollen knees. I've got arthritis. It's leaving different places in my body now.
It's crazy.
This knee was twice the size of this one. It wasn't swollen. It was just big.
Yeah.
And that's because of the arthritis and stuff. It was getting bigger. That if you see now.
I know, look at you. You got look at those.
Equal.
Look, I'm pointing, see?
Almost dropped a whole from a 10 into an 8. I'm literally looking at belts and suspenders because I can't afford a new wardrobe.
Not yet.
And my whole body has shifted, really shifted. Yeah. My mind is clearer. My attitude is more positive because we store all the toxins store in the fat. And as I lost 7 pounds in that 3 weeks, didn't even realize I'd lost 7 pounds. My attitude changed. I became more positive. I had a more positive outlook on life. I had a more bounce in my step. I feel better. My whole being. It's not just what you eat. I feel so much better.
So what would you tell somebody that came up to you and saw how you were 4 or 5 weeks ago? And what would you recommend, or somebody that as you're talking in this video that might be going through knee or joint pain, or they just don't feel like themselves, or they feel cruddy all the time, or nothing's going the way they want it to.
They need to come into this office. They really do. They need to talk to Dr. Zach and Dr. Cody. When he would put me through that evaluation, everything he said made so much sense. The areas that I was out on my spine were the areas that go to the organs that I was having problems with. So my big, fat, bloated belly, you could see that when he showed me where my spine is now versus where it needed to be. I would drag them down here. I would do anything I could to support them, to at least be open to hearing what someone has to say. Just listen to what he has to say. If it works for you and it clicks, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. For me, it did. I'm 74. I want to live to be 90 or 100, but I want to do it being physically active. I want to go camping. I want to go hiking. I want to, be an active. I want to support others in my building that aren't as active. And by example, I've been heavy for a long time and I know better. So I decided I had to walk my talk. The main thing that changed in coming to Dr. Zach was my headspace. It made me realize that the only person that can really make differences in my body was me. Sorry, what's that about? When I made the decision to do this and not feel deprived, that's when everything shifted for me. Because Dr. Zach's doing wonderful work. It had to do with my own mental headspace. What was more important to me? Being healthy and happy, or eating all that junk food that gave me the big belly and the sore knees, so I couldn't. I'm going up a flight of stairs now every day.
So you had to take some responsibility.
I could not do for 2 years.
And look at you now, and no cane.
On occasion, but it's less and less and less, because you know what? That arthritis is leaving my knees. The foods and stuff that I had in my diet, the misalignment of my spine, were the things that were causing me to have pain in my knees. By getting adjusted regularly, my back is I walk so tall now, naturally, which is the way everyone should walk, instead of like this, which is the way I was walking when I came in and was very depressed. And I'm not now.
No. We love it.
I know.
Yay!
So, are you kidding? If I needed
awesome.
proof that what you do works, you guys, it's how I feel now. It's made all the difference in the world in my life.
Awesome.
Honestly, when I got here, I was afraid I had my breast cancer back. My knees were never going to get better. I was going to have to sell that van I just made into a camper. It's not hard for me to get in and out of that van now either.
No, I watched you in the parking lot, and you just popped right out, and it was all good.
Popped right up.
Yep.
Thank you. That's due to the work in this office.
Okay.